Welcome to the video tutorial for Mack the Knife, the 7th pattern in the Stardust Melodies Crochet Along series, and also our 4th free pattern in the series. I'm Polly and I'll be your host. If you'd like more information about the Crochet Along, please visit everytrickonthehook.com or Every Trick on the Hook on Facebook. For this video, I'll be using Aran weight yarn and a 5.5mm crochet hook. Let's get started. We'll begin by making a magic circle, or as I like to make, a double magic circle. To make a double magic circle, take the yarn and wrap it around your fingers twice. Insert your hook into the loops and pull up a loop of yarn. Hold the circles securely and tighten the loop around your hook, and then chain 1 to secure your magic circles. Now you can make your round 1 stitches. To make round 1, single crochet into the magic circles and then chain 2. Do that a total of 4 times. Single crochet into the magic circles and chain 2. Single crochet in the magic circles, chain 2. One more time, single crochet in the magic circles and chain 2. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now to close the magic circles, we are going to first find our yarn end and then untangle it if it's twisted at all, so to make sure it comes out of the top nice and straight, and then we'll pull on it just slightly to see which one of the loops begins to close. See how this loop right here got smaller? That's the loop we want to address first. So I'm going to pinch the smaller loop at the top, and then I'm going to pull on it until the larger loop closes all the way. Then I'm going to go back to my yarn end and pull on that until the last loop closes. Now I can complete round 1 by making a slip stitch into both loops of that very first single crochet that we made. Make a slip stitch, and then I'll pull my slip stitch nice and tight, and that is round 1. To make round 2, I'll begin by chaining 1. After I do that, I'm going to single crochet in the back loop only of the very first stitch. The first stitch is the single crochet that I slip stitched to close round 1. So I'm going to insert my hook under just the back loop and pull up a loop to make a single crochet. And that's my very first stitch. After that comes the chain 2 space. In the chain 2 space, I'm going to make a corner. I'm going to make a single crochet into the chain 2, and then a chain 2, and then a single crochet. That makes our corner, and that's the corner we're going to use throughout the entire pattern. After I do that, I'm at the next single crochet, and I'm going to single crochet into the back loop only of this stitch. So just under the back loop, make a single crochet. Then I'm at another chain 2 space, so I'm going to make another corner. In the chain 2, single crochet, chain 2, and make another single crochet in the same space. Now I'm at the next stitch, under the back loop only, make a single crochet. In the next chain 2 space, again we'll do another corner, so single crochet, chain 2, and another single crochet, all in the same space. Now I'm at the last stitch, and into this last single crochet, under the back loop only, I'll make one more single crochet. Now I'm at the last chain 2 space, and I'll make my last corner with a single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. To join round 2, I'll slip stitch to both loops of the very first single crochet. Make a slip stitch, and then pull it nice and tight. If you have trouble finding that very first stitch, picking out which 2 loops to slip stitch to, at the very beginning of the round, take a stitch marker and place it under both of those 2 loops so that it makes it easier to find. Do that for every round if you have trouble picking out which 2 loops to make your slip stitch to, and it'll make it much easier. And that is round 2. Now for round 3. Round 3 is an important one, not because it's complicated, it's actually very easy, but because we're going to repeat it throughout the pattern. And in this pattern, you're actually going to repeat it a lot. So if you need to, just skip back to this part of the video and watch it as many times as you need for the pattern repeats. And I'll explain as we go along and make round 3. So the first thing you need to do is chain 1. And then we're going to single crochet in the back loop only of the very first stitch. Very first stitch is the one that contains the slip stitch that we use to close the last round. So just under the back loop, insert your hook, pull up a loop and make your slip stitch. Now the instructions say to single crochet in the back loop only of each stitch across the side to the next corner. Well, on round 3 there's only one more stitch until the next corner, but on pattern repeats, on round repeats, you're going to have more stitches. So it just depends on which round you're on, how many stitches you have right here. In round 3 we only have 1, but you will have more in future rounds. So just under the back loop only, and then make a single crochet just in the back loop only of each stitch across to the next corner chain 2 space. In the chain 2 space, single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. Just like every corner we do in this pattern. After that, single crochet in the back loop only of each stitch across to the next corner. So in the back loop only, single crochet. In round 3, there are only 3 stitches across to the next corner, but again, in round repeats, you will have more stitches per side. Okay, now we're at the next corner, so we'll do the same thing. Single crochet in the chain 2 space, chain 2, and single crochet. Now let's do that 2 more times. Single crochet in each stitch across to the next corner. Single crochet in the back loop only of each stitch across to the next corner. That's very important. Back loop only. Then in the chain 2 space, make our corner again, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Single crochet in the back loop only of each stitch across to the next corner. And then in our last chain 2 space, we single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. And now on the very last side, we single crochet in the back loop only of each stitch across to the first stitch. In the case of round 3, there's only 1 stitch, but again, in future round repeats, there will be more there. And now we need to slip stitch to the top 2 loops of the very first single crochet. So on these round repeats, make sure you count so you know you have the right number of stitches on this one and you don't slip stitch or single crochet in your slip stitch or your chain space, but you slip stitch right into both loops of the first single crochet. Pull that slip stitch nice and tight, and that's round 3. Use the same idea on any round repeats. In fact, go ahead and do that for round 4, round 5, and round 6. So do 3 more times just like that, and I will see you back here to show you how to make round 7. Before we begin round 7, you should have already completed rounds 4, 5, and 6, which were each simply repeats of round 3. If you're ready to go on, we will do round 7 now. We'll start by making a chain 1, and our very first stitch is going to be what I named a triangle stitch. This is a stitch I made up just for this pattern so that I could get a nice triangle shape. And it's a little bit complicated, but follow along with me. I'll do it a couple times and then I will show you how you can make an easier alternative treble 5 together, but I'll show you that after I show you the triangle stitch. So stick around a little while and see which you prefer. Either one works just fine. They just have a slightly different shape. The triangle is more triangular and the treble 5 together is a little bit rounder on the sides. You'll see what I mean after I make them. Alright, let's start off with our triangle stitch. So I chained 1 and now I'm going to yarn over twice. So just follow along, I'll go slowly. we're going to place this stitch into the front loop only of each stitch along the side around 3. So, or we can count up or down to pick out which one round 3 is. So my current round that I'm working into right now is round 6. This horizontal bar right here is round 5. This horizontal bar right here is round 4. And then round 3 is this one right here. So it's 1, 2, 3 rounds below. You can also count upwards. Here's this little bar right here is round 1, and these little bars right here are round 2, and these ones are round 3. However you find round 3, we're going to work into each of the 5 stitches that go across round 3. So you don't need to pick out which stitch so much as you need to pick out the entire round, because we're going to start over here at the very first stitch of round 3. I've yarned over twice. I'm going to insert my hook under the front loop only of that stitch. You might need to do some bending of your work so that you can reach it. That's okay. So under the front loop only, and then yarn over and pull up a loop. So it's like I'm making a treble, but I'm not going to complete it. What I'm going to do is yarn over and pull through 2 loops on my hook once, yarn over and pull through 2 loops on my hook twice. That's step 1. The very next step is to yarn over just once and insert my hook into the front loop only of the next stitch of round 3. Be careful, this one right here is my slip stitch, so I'm not going to work into that one. I'm going to ignore that one and skip it completely. The one right before it is the second stitch, so that's what I'm looking for. Again, my work needs to bend a little bit for me to reach. So under just that second loop, insert my hook and pull up a loop. Now I'm going to yarn over and pull through just 2 loops on my hook once. Now I'm going to do that again, yarn over once, and insert my hook into the next stitch. Remember, I'm ignoring my slip stitch, which is this little bump right here, and the 3rd stitch of round 3 under the front loop only, and then pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops on my hook. One more time, I'm going to do exactly that. Yarn over once, insert my hook under the next or the 4th loop of round 3, the front loop only, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops on my hook. Are you with me so far? You should have 5 loops on your hook total. And now what we're going to do before we move on is yarn over and pull through 3 loops on the hook. 1, 2, 3. Now I've got 1, 2, 3 loops left on my hook. So what we did there is almost like a double crochet 3 together in the middle of what will be a treble 2 together. So it's 5 stitches all together. We're just doing them at different intervals. Now we're going to do what's sort of the second half of a treble 2 together. So we're going to yarn over twice and insert our hook under the front loop only of that last round 3 stitch, so the 5th stitch of round 3. Under that loop, yarn over and pull up a loop. Now yarn over and pull through 2 loops on your hook twice. So 2 loops once, yarn over and pull through 2 loops twice. Now you have 4 loops on your hook. So if you look at it, you can kind of see, like, here's the first part of a treble 2 together, and here's the second part of a treble 2 together. And in the middle, we did a double crochet 3 together, but we didn't go through all the loops. We just went through 3 of them. That's a little complicated. Don't worry too much about that. But it's sort of like that. It's sort of like a treble over here, a treble over here, 3 double crochets in the middle, and we're going to finish them all up now. So now what we're going to do, we have 4 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and go through just 3 of them. And now we have 2 loops on our hook. Yarn over and go through the last 2 loops. And what that does is that gives us a really nice point at the top. And that's our triangle stitch. Now I'll show you again, so don't worry. I'll show you plenty of times throughout this video. That's just our first one. So if you want to see it again, either rewind or stick with me and we'll do it again. So after the triangle stitch, I'm not going to work into that first stitch. That first stitch counts as worked by the triangle stitch, so I'm going to work into the second stitch. Under the back loop only, I'm going to make a single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 times total. 5 single crochets under the back loop only gets me to the next corner. In the corner, I'll do my regular single crochet and chain 2 and single crochet. Okay, now for a full side, of round 7, we'll start off with 5 single crochets in the back loop only, and then I'll show you another triangle stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now for our triangle stitch, we're going to identify round 3. So here's round 1, 2, and 3, or I can count downwards. Here's 6, 5, 4, and 3. So these 5 stitches right here, this horizontal bar, is where I'm going to place my stitches of the triangle stitch. So I'm going to yarn over twice. Step 1, yarn over twice. Insert your hook under the front loop only of that first round 3 stitch. Pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops on your hook, once and then twice. Okay, so that's like the first leg of a treble, however many together you want, 2 together in this case. Okay, now we're going to do basically a double crochet 3 together in the middle. So in the next 3 stitches, first thing, yarn over once, insert my hook under the front loop only of the next round 3 stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops on my hook. Now I'm going to do that 3 times total. Yarn over, insert my hook under the next front loop only of round 3, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. That was twice. One more time, yarn over, insert my hook under the next round 3 front loop only, which is the 4th one, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on my hook. At this point I have 5 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through 3 of them, just 3. Now I have 3 loops on my hook. Now I'm going to finish the last leg, which is a treble leg. So yarn over twice, and I'm going to insert my hook under that last round 3 stitch, just the front loop, under that, and pull up a loop. Then I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops on my hook twice, once and twice. I've got 4 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through 3 of them. Then I've got 2 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through 2. And that's my triangle stitch. And I'll finish my side with 5 single crochets in the back loop only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm at my corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. So I've done my first 2 triangle stitches. I'm going to go ahead and show you another triangle stitch, and then I'll show you a treble 5 together, and you can compare the difference, and you can also see how we finish up this round of our square. So we'll do 5 single crochet in the back loop only. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now let's do another triangle stitch into round 3. So here's round 1, 2, and 3. There's my 5 stitches of round 3. I'm going to start by yarning over twice, and we're going to make our first leg, which is a treble leg. So into that first stitch of round 3, under the front loop only, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops twice. Once, twice. 2 loops on my hook. Now we're going to do the next 3 legs are double crochet legs. So yarn over once, insert your hook under the next loop. Be careful, sometimes it's hard to see the next loop. It looks like it's been worked into, but it actually hasn't. If you have a hard time, count backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, right there. Under the second loop, pull up a loop, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Do that a total of 3 times. So yarn over, insert my hook under the next front loop only, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Once more, yarn over once, insert under the 4th loop, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, that was 3 times total. Now I've got 5 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through 3 of them. Now I have 3 loops on my hook. Now we'll do our last leg, which is like a treble leg. So yarn over twice and insert my hook under that last round 3 front loop only, pull up a loop, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops twice. So yarn over through 2 loops once, through 2 loops twice. Now I have 4 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 3 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. and there's my triangle stitch. Now I'm going to single crochet in the back loop only of the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Make my corner, single crochet in the chain 2 space, chain 2, single crochet. Alright, now I'll show you how to do a treble 5 together. You can use this instead of the triangle stitch. If you really hate trying to make the triangle stitch, you just can't get it, or maybe you just don't like doing it, it's too complicated and you want something that flows a little easier for you, I'll show you how to do a treble 5 together for a very similar effect. So we'll start this side out with our 5 single crochet in the back loop only. Okay, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. To do the treble 5 together, we'll do all 5 legs the exact same way. We'll yarn over twice. And here's round 1, 2, and 3. So here's the 5 stitches I'm going to work into. Here's the very first front loop. I'll insert my hook under that front loop only, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops twice. I'll do that a total of 5 times. So yarn over twice, insert your hook under the next front loop only of round 3, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops twice, once and twice. 3 loops on my hook with 2 legs. Yarn over twice, insert under the third loop around, or front loop only of the third stitch of round 3, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops twice, once and twice. Alright, 2 more times. Yarn over twice, insert your hook under that fourth front loop only of round 3, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops twice. I'm up to 5 stitches or 5 loops on my hook, 4 of my legs done. Yarn over twice, insert my hook under that last front loop only of round 3, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops twice. Now you can, for traditional treble 5 together, you would yarn over and pull through all 6 loops on your hook, but you're going to get a better effect if you yarn over and pull through the first 5, not that last one, just the first 5, and then yarn over and pull through the last 2, and that'll help give you a little bit more of a point there. And then I will single crochet in the back loop only of the last 5 stitches of this side. And then I have my, to finish up the very last side, we'll make our corner, and then I'll show you the difference between these 2 stitches. So single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in the corner, and then to finish up this very last side of round 7, we'll single crochet in the back loop only of the last 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we slip stitch to the top 2 loops of the triangle stitch to join, slip stitch, and then pull it nice and tight. Okay, so now we can look at the difference between the triangle stitches and the treble 5 together. So the triangle stitch gives you this nice pointy stitch. It's kind of pretty in here too, kind of shapely. Those are the triangle stitches, and here's the treble 5 together. Notice how it's a little bit more like a petal. It is sort of bulbous around the sides. It's not quite as straight and triangular as the triangle stitch. That's really the only difference. So if you find that you like making the treble 5 together more, it flows better for you, go ahead and do that. The triangle stitch is just pointier, that's all. It's definitely a little bit trickier to make. I think once you practice it, do it a few times, you kind of get the flow down, and it does flow pretty easily, but at least you have an option. You can pick which one you want, and the difference is minimal. I think it's just a really small difference, but enough that I designed a new stitch to get something pointier. So up to you. That's round 7. Go ahead and finish up your round 7, and then I want you to make rounds 8, 9, and 10 all as repeats of round 3. So 3 rounds repeating round 3, 3 rounds of single crochet in the back loop only, that's all. And then I will meet up with you for round 11, and we will make more triangle stitches. Before we begin round 11, you should have already completed rounds 8, 9, and 10, which were each repeats of round 3. Now for round 11, we'll start by chaining 1. In this round, we are going to make more triangle stitches. They'll just be offset from the ones in round 7. So we'll start by making a single crochet in the back loop only of the very first stitch. So just under the back loop, the very first stitch, single crochet, that's 1. We'll do a total of 4. So the first 4 stitches each get single crochets in the back loop only. 2, 3, and 4. Now we'll make our next triangle stitch. From here on out, I'm only going to show you how to make the triangle stitches. So if you're making the treble 5 together and you need to refresh yourself on how to do it, you'll have to go back to round 7 and rewatch that section on how to do the treble 5 together, because I'm just going to do triangle stitches from here on out. Okay, so we did our first 4 stitches in this first 4 single crochets, and now we're going to do a triangle stitch. We're going to place the triangle stitch in the same round as the top of our last triangle stitch. So you can count downwards. It will be 3 rounds below. So here's our current round. Here's 1 round below, 2 rounds below, 3 rounds below. Or you can just identify the triangle stitch, that this is the round we made the triangle stitch in. That's round 7. And we'll be making it into these stitches here. So that if you're looking at the written instructions, they say the first leg goes into the stitch that is 3 rounds below and 2 stitches behind. That's where the first leg goes. But I'm going to give you some cheats so that you can tell you're in the right stitch. So what you do is you identify the top loop of the triangle stitch, 1 stitch over from that, and then another stitch. So 2 stitches after the triangle stitch, 1, 2 is where the first leg of your next triangle stitch goes. You can also tell that you're on track because the last leg will go in the last stitch of the side. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 front loops, those 5 right there. So start at the triangle stitch, skip the next one, and in the next one, the second stitch after the triangle stitch is where we'll start. Okay, now I'll show you how to do the triangle stitch again. So we'll yarn over twice to make our first leg. Our first leg is a treble leg. We're going to insert it in this loop right here. So that's 3 rounds below and 2 stitches behind, or counting from the triangle stitch from round 7, 1, 2 stitches in front of it. Insert my hook under that front loop for my first leg, yarn over and pull up a loop. I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops once, yarn over and pull through 2 loops a second time. That's my first leg. That's a treble leg. Now I'm going to make 3 double crochet legs together. So I'm going to yarn over once and into the very next front loop only, insert my hook and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops on my hook. I've got 3 loops on my hook at this point. Now I'm going to do that again. Yarn over once, insert my hook in the next front loop only, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now I've got 4 loops on my hook. One more time, yarn over once, insert my hook under the next loop, and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Now I've got 5 loops on my hook, so I've got my first treble leg going, and then I've got 1, 2, 3 double crochet legs going. I'm going to yarn over and pull through 3 loops on my hook, and that just pulls through the double crochet legs only. Now I'm going to yarn over twice and make my last treble crochet leg into the last loop. See, it's the last loop of the side of round 7. So I'm yarning over twice, and I'm going to insert under that front loop only and pull up a loop and yarn over and pull through 2 loops on my hook once, yarn over and pull through 2 loops on my hook a second time. Now I've got 4 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through 3 loops on my hook and yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops on my hook. And there's my triangle stitch. Now I'm going to single crochet in the back loop only of the next 5 stitches. Remember, you can always bend your triangle stitch down to see which stitch is behind it. That's the stitch behind it, so that's the next stitch. I'm not working in the one behind it, I'm working in the next one. Or you can count backwards from the corner. Here's the last stitch of the side. That would be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right there. Alright, single crochet in the back loop only of 1 and 2 3, 4, and 5 stitches. Now that should take you to your corner. In the corner, single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet again. Okay, now let's look at a full side of round 11. The first thing we do is single crochet in the first back loop only of the first 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now we're going to make our next triangle stitch. This triangle stitch will also be placed in the same round as the top of the round 7 triangle stitch. So here's the top of the round 7 triangle stitch. We're going to place it into these horizontal bars here. To position this one, I think it's a little easier to do the first one because the very first leg goes in the very first stitch of round 7 of this side. So that stitch right there is the first one of round 7. So you can just follow that horizontal bar from the triangle stitch all the way over and pick out that very first front loop only. And then you work in that 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you'll know that you're on track because there'll be one stitch before the triangle stitch. So it'll be triangle and then 1 in between and then the 5 legs of the new triangle that you're making. So let's go ahead and make that triangle stitch now. So yarn over twice for your very first leg. Okay, so here's the stitch I'm going to work into right here. Insert my hook under the front loop only and pull up a loop. Remember, you can bend your work as much as you need to get that nice and snug. I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops on my hook twice. And that's my first treble leg. Now I'm going to do my 3 double crochet legs. So yarn over once and insert my hook in the next front loop only of round 7. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Do that a total of 3 times. So yarn over once, insert my hook under the next loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. One more time, yarn over once, insert my hook under the next front loop only of round 7, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And those are my 1, 2, 3 double crochet legs. So I have a treble leg and then 1, 2, 3 double crochet legs, and I have 5 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through the first 3 loops of my hook, which are the 3 double crochet legs. Now I'm going to complete my last leg as a treble leg. So yarn over twice, insert my hook under the front loop only, the next front loop only, and I know I'm on track because I have 1 more front loop before the triangle stitch from round 7. So I know I'm in the right spot. And then I'll pull up a loop and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops twice. Now I have 4 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 3 loops, and then yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now, that's my first triangle stitch of the side. Now I'm going to single crochet in the back loop only of the next 7 stitches. So I'll fold this down a little bit so I can see there's the stitch behind, there's my next stitch. And I'll single crochet in the back loop only of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, now I'm going to make my next triangle stitch. I'm going to place this in the same round, so round 7 right here, but there's the top of my round 7 triangle, so I'll just follow these stitches over. I'm going to place this one just like I did the first one on the first side. Here's my round 7 triangle right here, so take my hook out so I can point. Here's my round 7 triangle, here's the top loop of that one. The next loop over is not the one I want, it's the second loop after the triangle stitch. That's where I'm going to place my first leg, and if I count, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lands in the very last stitch of the side, so that's where I want to start, right there. So let's make our next triangle, yarn over twice. Here's that stitch right there. So there's the triangle, there's 1, and there's 2 stitches after the triangle. Insert my hook under that front loop only and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops on my hook twice. That's my first treble leg. Now let's do the double crochet leg. So yarn over once, insert my hook under the next front loop only of round 7, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. yarn over once, insert my hook under the next front loop only of round 7, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. That was 2 double crochet legs. One more, yarn over once, insert my hook under the next front loop only of round 7, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3 double crochet loops, legs, a treble leg, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on my hook. That's perfect. So yarn over and pull through 3 loops, which are just the double crochet legs. Now we'll make one more treble leg, so yarn over twice, insert your hook under the last front loop only of round 7, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops twice. Once, twice. 4 loops on my hook, so I will yarn over and pull through 3 of them, and then yarn over and pull through the last 2. And there's my next triangle stitch. Now I'm going to single crochet in the back loop only of the last 5 stitches of the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that should take me right to my corner. I can make my corner, single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. And let's look at what we did. Okay, so for a full side of round 11, we did our corner, and then we single crocheted in the back loop only of the first 5 stitches. Then we made a triangle stitch, or if you want a treble 5 together, either one works. We placed that in the same row as the top of our round 7 triangle stitch. So all in round 7, we found the top of our triangle stitch, and we went all the way over to the very first stitch of round 7. In the first 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 loops of round 7, where we placed the legs of our triangle stitch. Then we had 1 stitch before the triangle stitch, so we knew we were on track. That's how we placed our first triangle. Then we did 7 single crochets in the back loop only, and then we did another triangle stitch. We placed this triangle stitch in the last 5 stitches of round 7. So the first one we found by looking at where the triangle stitch was, skipping the next one, and then in the second stitch after the triangle stitch, in that front loop only is where we placed our first leg, and then we did, that was our first 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th leg landed in the last stitch of the side, so we knew we placed them correctly. Then we did 5 single crochets in the back loop only and another corner. That was a full side of round 11. Go ahead and make that again on this side and this side, and I'll show you how to finish up that last side of round 11. To finish the last side of round 11, we'll make our last corner in a single crochet and chain 2 and single crochet again in the chain 2 space. Now to finish this side, we'll single crochet in the back loop only of the first 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we'll make our last triangle stitch of the side. So we will place it in the same round as this round 7 triangle was made. So find this round 7 triangle, and these horizontal bars right here are the ones we'll use. And we'll start by placing our first leg in the very first bar, the very first front loop only of this round 7 side. So yarn over twice, insert your hook under that front loop only, and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops a second time. Now let's make our double crochet legs. We'll yarn over once and insert our hook under the next front loop only of round 7. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, just once. Now we'll do that 2 more times. So yarn over once, insert your hook, pull up a loop, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops once. One more time, yarn over once, insert your hook under the next loop, the next front loop of round 7, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops on your hook. You should have 5 loops total on your hook. A treble crochet leg, and then 1, 2, 3 double crochet legs. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through 3 loops on our hook, which will be all 3 of the double crochet legs. Now we'll yarn over twice, insert our hook under the next front loop only of round 7, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops a second time, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 3 of them, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. There's your last triangle stitch. Now all you have to do is single crochet the back loop only of the last 3 stitches of the side. 1, 2, and 3 should put you at your first stitch. You can slip stitch to both loops of that first single crochet, pull it nice and tight, and that's round 11. Now what I want you to do is go ahead and make rounds 12, 13, and 14. All 3 rounds will be repeats of round 3. So 3 more rounds of single crochet in the back loop only, and then I will see you back here for round 15. Before we continue, you should have already completed rounds 12, 13, and 14 as repeats of round 3. So 3 repeats of round 3. And now we're on round 15. In round 15, we'll make our last round of triangle stitches. The very first thing I want you to do is chain 1, and our very first stitch is going to be a triangle stitch. I'll show you how to place it. The first thing you do, obviously, is yarn over twice, because our first leg is going to be a treble leg. What we're going to do is we're going to place the triangle stitch between these 2 triangle stitches. So here's my first triangle stitch, here's the second one from round 11, and right along this horizontal bar is where I'm going to place the stitch. So what I do, actually, before we do our yarn overs, I'll show you with my hook so I can point. What I like to do is find this front loop only of this triangle stitch right here, and then count over 2. So here's 1 stitch after it and 2 stitches after it is where I'll place my very first leg. Then I'll place the second one in the stitch after that. This bump here is my slip stitch that closes my join. Then this is my 3rd front loop only, where my 3rd leg goes. Here's the 4th one, here's the 5th one. Then there will be 1 more before the next triangle stitch. So on each side of the new triangle stitch I'm going to make, there's going to be 1 stitch before the triangle stitch and 1 stitch before this triangle stitch. So it'll be centered right between those. Okay, now let's make our triangle stitch. So yarn over twice. First leg is a treble leg, so here's my triangle stitch from round 11. 1 stitch over, 2 stitches over, that's where I place my very first leg. So under that front loop only, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops twice, 1 and 2. And there's my first leg, my first treble leg. Now, yarn over once, insert my hook into the next front loop only, and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. There's my second leg, my double crochet leg. This bump here is my slip stitch. This is the next stitch I'm going to work into. So yarn over once, and into the 3rd front loop only, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. 1 more, yarn over once, insert my hook under the next loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. You should have 5 loops on your hook right now and 4 legs. So for the first leg is the treble leg, and then 1, 2, 3 double crochet legs. Yarn over and pull through 3 loops on your hook. And now let's make our last leg. Yarn over twice. The last leg is a treble leg. Insert your hook under the next front loop only. You know you're on track because there's 1 more front loop only before the front loop of the triangle stitch. So pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops twice, 1 and 2. 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 3 of them. Oops, not that last one. And then yarn over and pull through the last 2. And there's your first triangle stitch. Now we're going to single crochet in the back loop only of the next 7 stitches. So fold this down, make sure you're not working in that first stitch, you're working in the next stitch. Back loop only, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in this round, when I get to number 4 of the 7 single crochets, I tend to check and make sure that that 4th one is in line with the triangle stitch, and then I know I'm on track. Okay, that was 4, so 5, 6, and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now we can make our next triangle stitch. The next triangle stitch goes in the same round, so round 11 right here, as the last one. So it'll be right on these bars that are at the top of the last triangle stitches. The very first bar is going to go in the stitch 2 stitches after the triangle stitch. So here's my triangle stitch. There's 1 stitch after and there's 2 stitches after. That's where the very first leg goes. The very last leg will go in the last stitch of the side. So even if I wanted to, I could count backwards. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then there's 1 stitch and then the triangle stitch. So I know I'm right there is where the first leg goes. So I'm going to yarn over twice, insert my hook under that front loop only, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops twice. Now I'm going to do the next 3 double crochet legs. So yarn over once, insert under the next front loop only, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over once, insert under the next front loop only, yarn over, or pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. One more time, yarn over once, insert under the next front loop, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. I've got 5 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through the first 3 of them, 3 double crochet legs. I still have my treble leg over here. I'm going to make 1 more treble leg, so yarn over twice, insert under the next front loop only, which should be the last loop at the side, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops twice, yarn over, pull through 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and there's my next triangle stitch. Now I'm going to single crochet in the last 5 stitches of the side in the back loop only. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that should take me to my corner. In the corner, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Okay, now let's look at a full side of round 15. We will start with 5 single crochets in the back loop only. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now we're going to make a triangle stitch. The first triangle stitch of the side will identify where it goes by finding these 2 triangle stitches and the horizontal bar where we made them. So here's the row where we made those triangle stitches. We're going to work into these front loops only. So the very first triangle stitch of the side, the first leg gets worked into that very first stitch. See that one right there? That is the front loop only where we'll work our first leg. And then the second, third, fourth, and fifth will be the next stitches, and then there will be 1 we will not work into that comes right before the triangle. So there'll be 1 stitch between the legs of our new triangle and the top of that last triangle from round 11. Okay, let's make our first triangle stitch to the side, yarn over twice. Let's orient ourselves again. Here's that bar. So in the very first stitch, I'm going to make my first leg. So insert my hook underneath, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops twice. There's my first leg. Now my double crochet leg. So yarn over once, insert my hook under the next loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over once, insert under the next loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. One more time, yarn over once, insert my hook under the next loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. 5 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 3 of them just to get my double crochet legs together, yarn over twice to make my last leg in the next front loop of that round, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops twice, once, twice. 4 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 3 of them, yarn over, pull through the last 2. There's my triangle stitch. Now I'm going to single crochet in the back loop only of the next 7 stitches. So that's the one behind my triangle stitch. There's my next stitch. 1, 2, 3, and 4 single crochets in the back loop only, and this is where I stop. I pause for a moment and I just make sure that that 4th one is right in line with the triangle below it, and then I know I'm right where I'm supposed to be. That's 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, now we're going to make another triangle stitch, and this one is going to be placed very similarly to the very first triangle stitch we made of the side. So what we're going to do is look at this triangle stitch and this one. We're going to place it right in the middle. So here's the front loop only of the triangle. One stitch after it is the one we're going to leave open. 2 stitches after it is where we're going to place our very first leg. So let's make our triangle starting right there. Yarn over twice, there's my triangle, 1 stitch after, 2 stitches after, under that front loop only, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops twice, and there's my first leg. Now let's do our double crochet legs, yarn over once, insert under the next front loop of the same round, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over once, insert under the next front loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over once, insert under the next front loop only, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. 5 loops on your hook at this point, 4 legs, the treble leg, and 1, 2, 3 double crochet legs. Yarn over and pull through 3 loops on your hook, which is all 3 double crochet legs. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over twice. We'll do our last leg in the next front loop only. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops twice. Once, twice. 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 3, then yarn over and pull through 2. There's your next triangle stitch. Now we're going to single crochet in the back loop only of the next 7 stitches. So pull that down, there's the stitch behind it, there's the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll pause and make sure that number 4 is aligned with this treble or this triangle perfectly. 5, 6, and 7. Okay, now we'll make one more triangle stitch on this side, and we're going to place this again in this round, the same as the other 2. Here's this triangle stitch, so I'm going to identify the front loop only, 1 stitch after and 2 stitches after is where my next triangle will begin. So yarn over twice, under that front loop only, and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops twice. Yarn over, we'll do our double crochet legs, so insert under the next front loop only, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over once, insert under the next front loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Yarn over once, insert under the next front loop, yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. You should have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 3. We'll do our last leg, yarn over twice, insert your hook under the next front loop only, which should be the last one of the side, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops twice. You should have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2. Whew, okay, that is all the triangle stitches for that side. Now let's do 5 single crochets in the back loop only of the next 5 stitches, which are also the last 5 stitches of the side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 should take you to the corner. Single crochet in the corner, chain 2, single crochet again. Okay, and then we'll take a look at a full side of round 15. So we made our corner, and then we did 5 single crochets in the back loop only in the first 5 stitches. Then we did a triangle stitch. We placed this triangle stitch in the same round as the top of the round 11 triangles. So we found the horizontal bar from the round 11 triangles, and we placed the first leg in the very first stitch of that side, and then the subsequent 4 stitches, so those first 5 stitches. And then we realized there's 1 stitch between the last leg and the top of this triangle. Then we did 7 single crochets in the back loop only, and we did another triangle. We placed this triangle right in between the 2 round 11 triangles. There's 1 stitch in between the top of the round 11 triangle and the first leg, and there's one stitch in between the last leg of our new triangle and the next round 11 triangle, the top of the next round 11 triangle. Those 5 stitches in between are where we place the legs of this triangle. Then we did 7 single crochets in the back loop only, and we did our last triangle on the side. We placed the first leg 2 stitches after the top of this triangle. So we found this triangle, the very top, front loop only, counted 1, 2, and that's where we placed our first leg. And then the next ones worked all the way across, and the 5th leg went in the very last stitch of that round. And that's how we placed that triangle. Then we did 5 single crochets in the back loop only in another corner. So that was a full side of round 15. Go ahead and do that again on this side and this side, and then I'll come back and we'll show you how to do the very last side of this last half side of round 15. To finish up the last side of round 15, we'll make our last corner in that last chain 2 space. So single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in that last chain 2 space. Now let's single crochet in the back loop only of the next 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, let's make our last triangle stitch of the whole square, last triangle stitch. We're almost there. We're going to place this one on the same bar as the other ones on this side. So here's that round 11 right here. The top of this triangle stitch is round 11. And we're going to place our very first leg in the very first stitch of round 11 in that front loop only right there. So yarn over twice, find that front loop again, insert your hook under that front loop only and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops twice. That's our first leg. Now let's do our double crochet leg. So yarn over once, insert under the next front loop only of round 11, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over once, insert your hook under the next front loop only, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. One more time, yarn over once, insert under the next front loop only, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. At this point you should have 5 loops on your hook, 1, 2, 3 double crochet legs and 1 treble leg. Yarn over and pull through 3 loops on your hook, which are the 3 double crochet legs. And now let's make our last leg. Yarn over twice, insert under the next front loop only, and there should be 1 open stitch between this front loop that you're working into and the triangle stitch from round 11. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops twice. You should have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 3 of them, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. That's your last triangle stitch. Now all you have to do is single crochet in the last 7 stitches of the side, so pull it down. There's the stitch behind my triangle stitch. Here's my next stitch. Back loop only, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Takes me right to the first stitch, which was our triangle stitch. So I'll slip stitch to the top 2 loops of the triangle stitch, pull that nice and tight, and that is round 15. Now we're going to wrap up our square with round 16. We're going to do a round of single crochet in both loops. So chain 1 to begin, and single crochet in both loops of that very first stitch, which is the triangle stitch. And now just single crochet in both loops of each stitch across to the next corner. And when you get to the corner chain 2 space, single crochet and chain 2 and single crochet in the corner chain 2 space. Just like we did on every other round, you'll make your corner just the same. After that, single crochet in both loops of each stitch all the way across the next side. You'll do that all the way around. Make your single crochet, chain 2 single crochet in the corner and single crochet in both loops of each stitch across each side. When you get around to that first side to complete it, just single crochet in each stitch up till until your first stitch, slip stitch to your first stitch, and you can fasten off and weave in your ends. You are done with our Mack the Knife square. So that's it for this square. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun, and I hope you liked the triangle stitch and that you like the way it looks. Until next time, I am Polly, and I will see you for our next Stardust Melodies Crochet Along square. Until then, have fun, crochet on, crochet strong.